This is Jeanette from Creative Spirit, my show, Inspired Reflections. I hope that all of you are doing well. Um, Good morning, well, good afternoon. I wanted to come and just say hello and give you the word of the day. But then the Lord told me, no, since you have a business, I want you to talk about business and how to put God in your business, which I've been doing for a long time. And then we geared off to Bible study. So I have this Bible that a dear friend gave me. Um, and her name is Michelle. And she had this beautiful, it's called Seven Deputy Bible, a personal and small group Bible study. And inside they had a section on marketplace. It's a wonderful Bible, very good. And it said it just happened to have entrepreneurs, and that's what I am, right? And it says going out on a limb, and then it says the person I guess who wrote this says I was excited to start my own business, but now I'm not sure. Rather than working when I want to, I'm working all the time. It's a huge investment. Will my dream become a nightmare? And all of us go through that, right? And the only way I can teach this is by what the section tells me, because it's going to give you a Bible story. And the Bible story is when Jacob leaves Laban in Genesis 31 1 through 21. All of you know that the story of Jacob. If you don't, I suggest you read it. It's a really good story. He fell in love with a woman called Rachel. And those times you have to pay a bride price, but he didn't have any money because it got stolen, if I remember correctly. And if you remember it, feel free to send me a message. I'll be happy to you know uh, um correct myself, because I'm looking for the study book. Like I say, I'm a teacher and I know all the stories, but sometimes it gets foggy, but that's okay. So from what I remember, he had to work 7 years for Rachel, but the father came and decided to do a trick, because see, Jacob's hands was blessed. Anything he touched flourished. So Laban got jealous and he says, I don't want him to go. So what did he do? On the seventh year, okay, that he was supposed to marry Rachel, he worked 7 years for Rachel. What he did when it came time for the bride, he took Rachel and hid her and switched her out for her sister, okay, and covered her face. So when they went to the marriage room, he woke up the next morning and it was his sister, it wasn't Rachel. He was very angry. And so the father, Laban, said, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm sorry, this and that. I don't know what he said there, but I'll go ahead and read the section that we're supposed to read. But he says, work another 7 years, right? And you can marry Rachel. So he gave 7 more years to Laban working there, being prosperous on the farmlands and the cattle and everything else that he did. And then when he came to marry Rachel, this time he made sure he was marrying Rachel, not falling into another trickery, and he got married to Rachel. Okay. So her sister could bear children, and I forgot her name, I'm sorry. But Rachel couldn't. And she did later on. But I'm gonna go ahead and read the story, the one that says, it says, following my dream. All of us have a dream of a business, right? I have the creative spirit dream, with along with other companies that we're how do you say, working together to make the dream happen. And I always say there's a triangle, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's what I say. And we have the creative spirit channel, along with Spark Up Biz, and along with Society, and now another one with Legacy, but there's more. So we've been praying, and I don't know if you followed Michelle and I. We were doing the 40-day prayer, and if you missed it, it's okay. It's on YouTube and it's on our channel. that you can look under the sections, and you'll see the whole lessons from lesson 1 all the way to 40 on what we did and how that came about. Well, it's true what they say. When you get deeper into the word, is new level, new devil. But I'm not gonna talk about him, right? So let's stick to back to the story. So basically, this is a business that Jacob did with Laban, and Laban is the one that tricked Jacob, right? So the story continues on Genesis 31, where Jacob decides to flee from Laban. Okay, so I'm gonna read you the story for those of you who haven't read it. And if you want to go ahead and follow me, it is Genesis 31, 1 through 21 that I'm gonna read to you. Jacob heard that Laman's sons were saying, Jacob has taken everything our father owned and has gained all the wealth what belonged to our father, which is not true. Read it from the beginning. And Jacob noticed that Laban's attitude toward him was not what it had been. Okay. Then the Lord said to Jacob, go back to the land of your fathers and your relatives, and I will be with you. When the Lord say he's going to be with you, he is going to be with you. No doubt. Don't second guess yourself. He's going to be with you. And Jacob was the son, I want to say Abraham. Okay. So that's from that lineage. So you can see. So Jacob sent the word to Rachel and Leah. That's it. The sister's name was Leah. Leah is the one that gave him children, and Rachel couldn't. Okay, to come out of the fields with his flocks were. He said to them, I will see that your father's attitude toward me is not what it was before, but the God of my father has been with me. You know that I've worked for your father with all my strength, yet your father has cheated me by changing my wages 10 times. However, God has not allowed him to harm me. If he said, the speckled ones will be your wages, then all the flocks gave birth to speckled young. And if he said, the streaked ones will be your wages, then all the flocks bore streaked young. So God has taken away your father's livestock and has given them to me. Now, in this section, because Laban and him made a deal, right? And he will keep, I guess I forgot the percentages. You will have to go back and read it. But there was a percentage there that Jacob can keep, the lamb, the how do you say, the flocks. And God had told them to do a leaf and things like that, a branch or something like that. And what happened was God always favored Jacob. God always favored Jacob because Jacob, when he worked, he did it with a pure heart. So everything that Laman will come and say, well, okay, let me trade on. And now whoever has spots and whoever don't have spots, he always kept, changing things, but it never worked. God would always bless Jacob, right? So God, that's when he says, so God has taken away your father's livestock and has given them to me, because the father was always cheating, right? Okay, in breeding season, I once had a dream in which I looked up and saw that the male goats mating with the flocks were streaked, speckled, or spotted. The angel of God said to me in a dream, Jacob, I answered, here I am. And he said, look up and see that all the male goats mating with the flocks are streaked, speckled, or spotted, for I have seen all that Laman has been doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now leave this land at once and go back to your native land. Okay. Then Rachel and Leah replied, do we still have any share in the inheritance of our father's estates? Does he not regard us as foreigners? Not only has he sold us, but he has used up what was paid for us. Surely all the wealth that God took away from our father belongs to us and our children. So do whatever God has told you. Then Jacob put his children and his wives on camels, and he drove all his livestock ahead of him, along with all the goods he had accumulated in Paddan, Abram, to go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. When Laban has gone to shear his sheep, Rachel stole her father's household gods. Moreover, Jacob deceived Laban, an Aramean, by not telling him he was running away. So he fled with all he had, crossed the Euphrates River and headed for the hill country of Gilead. Okay, so we're gonna stop there because next week he'll continue to the other one. So now he's, getting ready to go because he worked hard. See, if you read the stories before, it is so good and so interesting how God has blessed him because he is the son of Abraham. Now Jacob running away from Abraham, that's another story. There's a lot of deceitfulness in this book in Genesis. You really have to read. It's very interesting. And if you don't like reading, then get it on audio Bible and get the NIV so you can understand whichever one you understand and just hear it. Okay. So basically, God blesses the hard workers. This is what I'm getting from it. So God bless the hard workers, but you always have someone that gets jealous of you. And it happened to me when I first started. Someone got jealous of me and they tried to take what I had, right? But God didn't let them. So God took me away from them. So another thing, God will protect what you, if you do it wholeheartedly and you give. Also, we'll talk about tithes later, but when you do everything of God's command and you're doing it for your business, God will bless your hands. Because see, you're not doing the business for you, you're doing it for you, yes, but you want to put God in your business. You want him to bless your business. And the Creative Spirit channel is a business that started with one idea, but God changed it to another idea, and he put people in our path that are Christians and that fear the Lord, right? From there, then we decided to go ahead and pray for our business. And after the prayer, then Lord to bless the business where now the platform is growing and we had to move on to a bigger platform, right? So you need to follow in your dream. So the whole section on this topic, number one, there's 6 topics on this, and then there's 6 more for the advance. So this is the beginner. So what I get from this is that Jacob worked very hard. It's like we have to work very hard in our business. Now, does God bless the hands that do nothing? Do you expect everybody to do things for you? Then that's when you have to look at yourself. Are you really working hard for your business? Are you really doing everything possible for your business, or are you waiting for someone to do it for you? And that's something to think about, right? And it's something also to say God will bless the hands that work hard. Okay, and that is all over the the Bible. When you see people working hard, even Adam had to work hard now for his food because of the sins that he committed, right? So you look at through the Bible, everybody's always working hard. No one ever stepped in and say, hey, besides God, God is the only one that can step in your business and say, I'm going to bless you and I'm going to do this for you. God told me to teach this lesson today. I don't know for who it's for, but here it is. Basically, stop waiting for someone else. That's what's coming to me. Stop waiting for someone else to do your business. If you want a business, you have to work hard at it. You have to open it up. Let the Lord guide you. Pray over it, fast over it. Prayer and fast always works. Work with your hands and do everything you can. Ask for wisdom. I ask for wisdom all the time because now with this new platform, I'm having to learn how to create everything that I already had done before, right? So I don't know that, but I ask God, hey, Lord, please help me, you know, no, give me wisdom to handle what I gotta handle, to learn what I need to learn. And that's something that you have to pray so the Lord can answer your prayer. Because, and then you have to try. See, some people pray the prayer, but and then do nothing. Nothing magical is
Mhm.
gonna fall on your lap and say, oh, look, I got my prayers answered. It was done for me. No, do the research because you're still working with your hands, even if you're doing like computer work. You work with your hands, okay? I know Michelle. She's always networking. She networks because that's what brings her her business. She works with people and she likes helping other people. Just like the Creative Spirit channel, we love helping people that have small businesses because the Lord says, help other, love your neighbor with all your heart. So we love our neighbor with all our heart, right? And you help them. Okay, and we're very reasonable. And here's the thing: who God sends to you, don't know, but you want to keep it real. If you want a God to bless you in your business, then may you follow the God's commandments of your business. Don't be doing trickery, stealing, bad mouthing other businesses. Don't be doing anything that is not of God. Okay. Now, if you want to know the fruits of the spirit, which this I learned from a friend, and I've learned to read to understand what this means. But you want to follow the fruits of the spirit of a person, right? Especially your leader. And I'm reading a great leader book right now that my church gave me, and I'm going to share it later on, that goes with business and leadership and things. It's directed more on working with the church, but it's the same thing because you have to follow your leaders even in business. Me and my partner, even though she don't like to be called a leader, I consider her my leader because it was her dream, right? And then she asked me to partake with her in that dream. And I said yes. And I told her my two conditions. Basically, I have to bring the Lord in it. And we have to have fun because the Lord is already full of misery. And you don't want to be miserable. You want to have fun in your business, right? But I decided to also include that I wanted the Lord in my business. So this is how you follow the fruits of the spirit of whoever you're going to pick. Even if you want to have a business partner, you want to go ahead and follow the fruits of the spirit, which is on Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self control. Against such things, these there is no law. Okay. So if you have a partner or a business partner that has this joy, love, and peace and fruits of the spirit, you're in good hands. Okay. And I can say that about my friend. Okay. And always we had people on our channel that were not of good spirit, and this is what it caused. Basically, the opposite of that, which was they had a sinful nature and they were led by something else. And let me see, it says here, it does say the opposite of that. So they were idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, discord, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambition, um, des- des- ooh, oh, dissensions, um, fictitious accord, jealousy, envy, drunkenness, orgies, and the like. I warn you, as I did with we were of good spirits and follow you. You're to commune with other Christians in doing the walk. Okay, so that's one thing you want to go ahead and do. So this is the first part of this series of entrepreneurs going out on the limb. Okay, and we're gonna be going and I'm gonna see if this has a study, but I give my examples. So basically you want to go ahead, and when we had those people that were not of spirit, God took them away from us, and then he brought us people of spirit, which was the other people of the business that are now our partners. So this is what I'm trying to say. This story is really, really good. And it has a lot about business in the sense of doing it honestly. And God will reward your hands of what you're doing. Okay. And He loves you very much. And He will never forsake you. But you got to have Him in your life all the time. Okay, so basically, that is the lesson for today, and short and sweet, but it's to the point. Basically, you're doing your business with God first, because this is how the cycle goes all the time. So you're gonna put God first, then your husband, then your children, and then the church. Okay. So that's how it is. Or is God first? Hold on. God first, husband, wife. I'm sorry, the church is always on top because it's God first. So yeah, you want to go ahead, but you serve in the church as well. Because to be honest, I learned my skills in a church. He prepared me for this. and even though it's not the same program, but it's still something that the Lord is always teaching me on how to do. Always learning, right? Always faithful. And don't question your leaders and don't question anything. Just be a good nature, be a good spirit. And if you have an idea for a business, what harm can it do? See, a lot of people um, are afraid to launch an idea that they may have. It could be because of money, it could be for a lot of things. It could be for so many reasons that the devil will stop you from doing what you're meant to do in your business, right? And I have a book from Joyce Meyer, and it's called Do It Afraid. You should read that book because it will really get you pumping to do what you need to do. And Do It Afraid, again, is by Joyce Myers. Yeah, I have it here. Let me go ahead and get that book for you. Okay, so this is the book. It says Do It Afraid by Joyce Myers, and this is the cover. And basically, let me see if it's that. Oh, it has a face of a lion. I love that. That's the main book, but and then they have the cover on top, and it's called Do It Afraid. And basically, it says understand your fears, confront your fears, change your mindset. In fear inspiring circumstances, the wise course of action is to ask God why you reacted the way you did. Then you watched and wait for Him to speak to your heart. The answer may come immediately or it may take a while, but if you seek to understand yourself, you will find truth and the truth will make you free. John 8:32, right? So this is a book that I recommend. Do It Afraid, and it'll take away your fear because many people, I mean, I know a lot of people that probably she could have asked, but the Lord brought her to me. So when the Lord does that, He finds favor. That's what it's called, favor. I never knew she was going to ask me to be her business partner, but look how it turned out. It turned out great. We're a great partnership. Okay. And here's the thing, we're not to judge, we're not to judge anybody. We are to love everybody and help them with whatever they ask. So me being a good steward, she asked me a question and I said yes, and I always say yes. I mean, there is no harm in trying. And how you do it is basically write down your idea on a paper. You have an idea for a business, write it down, write it down, and then what you do is you pray over it. And if you sit still and listen to the peace and silent voice in your head, is silent and quiet, and you're praying about it, the Lord will tell you what to do, where to go. It happened just like that. When these ideas that I have that when we do the commercial, the cartoons and things, I don't make it up. It's Hi, Michelle. I was just talking about you. Michelle is one of our partners. I love her to pieces. And we're going to start next week. I'll get into that in a minute. But one of the things that you want to do is do it afraid. Do it afraid. You have the idea, you pray over it, and let God guide your steps. And that's exactly what happened with us. We have guided our steps and we put God first and we give Him all the glory and we pray. Every single one of our partners are praying partners. Like Michelle and Matt, they pray all the time. And me and Michelle did a Bible study, and we're about to do another one. I'm about to say it. But I mean, this is the thing. We keep God first. We're real. We practice what we preach. And you see God, you don't have to basically do nothing but do what He tells you to do. Do the best that you can. God knows that you don't know everything. So He sends people to you. He will send people to you and say, hey, this is how you do that. I want you to connect with this person. I want you to connect with this one. And basically when you get that inspiration, it sets you on fire. That's the second thing. Get on fire for what you believe in. You're not gonna If you have a lukewarm attitude about your business, you basically gonna have a lukewarm attitude on working in your business. Okay, you don't want that. Be on fire for your business, because if God gave you the idea, He's going to give you that fire. He's going to give you everything you need. He will send the people, and He will even give you the finances for it. Don't start. I mean, I'm telling you, I have seen it. I have been a witness to it. And I can tell you a lot of things that have happened this just past week. And it is amazing. And we've never thought we were going to find another platform. And the way God works, it's no effort. Because when he says, where he's gonna do and what he's gonna do for you. My God is not a liar. He don't lie. He blesses people. He always says, "Put me first and see the works." Test me, and you'll see. And it's the truth. Okay. Michelle said, "Growth comes out of fear and stepping out in faith." Exactly. You step out in faith. You gotta have faith to do the things that God tells you to do. Because, like the story of Jacob that leaves Laban, you know that God saw him work. And God told them, leave and go to the land that I will send you. Because, Laban was cheating on him. He was stealing from him. He was cheating and things like that, stealing from him, and just being not a good person. And then, as the story moves on, it's going to get really good because next week we'll hit on all of those things. So, I wanted to share with you this beautiful story that we're going to start heading. Now, in the meantime, let me go ahead and tell you today we're going to take a break. I think Michelle's getting some storms out there and where she's at. So, I wanted to give her a break and also allow people to get the study that we're going to be studying. So, it's called The Holy Roar. Okay, this is the study, and 7 words that will change the way you worship. A PDF combination audiobook. You can get the audiobook on Amazon or the actual book, and the book looks like that. And it's from Chris Tomlin and Darren Whitehead. And you want to make sure you follow us. We're gonna start next week. Okay, we're giving people to get time and get the book of the so we'll start next week. That's what the spirit told me. We start next week to go over all of this and to just really help people put God in their business. And you want to do that all the time. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and leave us now. But if you want any prayer requests, you're gonna write to me at inspired reflections 77 at gmail.com. Okay, and any prayer requests. And if you have any questions, what we talked about in the story, I'll go ahead and read the book of Genesis on the story of Jacob and Laman, and you're gonna see what I mean. It's a great story. And if you go to, I think they made a movie of it. And if you want to watch the movie, I think the movie is called The Bible, and it's on Netflix, YouTube, and somewhere else. But if you get the story, I mean, you'll read it, you can see it, right? You'll be able to see how the whole story unfolds, and it's really good. I love watching the video. I'm a big video watcher. So I also follow it with the word. If they go left, then I know they're not of God. But anyway, they have to take some free liberties because they weren't there, right? So I want you to go ahead and follow that. So get a chance and read and the whole to work 7 years. Imagine you having to work 7 years to get someone. He didn't have a bride. He went there poor. He had bride, but and then they stole it from him, you know? So and then he got Leah instead. And then he had to work another 7 years for Rachel. So that's a very interesting story and it's very good. So go ahead and read after that. And if you have any questions, you go ahead and give us a call. But at this time, I want to say thank you for being with me. I will see you next Sunday at this time to go to part 2, which is risking my reputation and when Laban pursues Jacob. And that's Genesis 31:22. If you want to read ahead of time, you can do that. Genesis 31:20 through to 55. Okay. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next week.